This is a video of me trying to get my pipo M9 upgraded to the latest firmware as supplied by my supplier. Mainly it's to show the problems that I'm having with trying to get this done. My list of ingredients includes my laptop, which you can see here, which is running Windows 7 Ultimate. It's a 32-bit laptop. My pipo M9, which is here, which you can see on the back. Pipo M9, it's actually the 3G version. I bought it in June 2013. It's switched off at the moment. A USB cable. It's not the original one that came with the thing, but it's a good quality one made by Sony. And a paper clip, so I can use the reset button. You'll see, but you'll have to take it for granted at the moment that the pipo M9 is fully charged. And you can see on the screen the instructions that were sent to me. I've just copied them into a Word document to make it a little bit easier to read. So it says once you've extracted the compressed file, you place which you downloaded, place the main folder on your computer's desktop, and then turn your tablet off and open the folder and run the RK batch tool 1.5. Okay, so here is the pipo M9 folder, RK batch tool, and the version of the updating software called batch tool 1.5. So let's run that. Okay, so there it is. Obviously I've got Windows Explorer running, File Explorer. I've also got Device Manager running because it's worth knowing what the computer is seeing at any time. Okay. Anyway, so the next thing on the instructions say you will see a grey window with numbers 1 to 8 on the bottom half, all grey, which is true. There it is, 1 to 8, all grey. In the Rocket Batch Tool window, you will see the first option says FW Path Firmware. In other words, there will be the button on the right hand side. Click this button and go to desktop, to your desktop folder, then firmware, select the firmware and open, and then a message will say loading firmware finished. So let's do that. So we'll go up to the top here, and it's already found the firmware. It's in my pipo M9 folder under firmware, and there it is, English update, and there it is. It says firmware loading finished. Excellent. Next instruction: first turn on your tablet and then connect the charger. Well, I'm not going to connect the charger, but I will turn on the tablet because I know it's fully charged. Here it comes. As you can see, it does take a little while. More or less there. I've disabled all the widgets to make it a little bit faster to boot up. Hasn't quite got there yet. It's looking for the network. I think it's found something. It's trying to connect to it now. And if we look at the charge on it, it'll show 99% charged. So it's more or less fully charged. Let's check if the applications have come up. They haven't, but no matter. Not all my apps are showing on the apps list, and nevertheless, let's give it a go anyway. So there it is. So let's go back to the instructions. After this, using the USB cable that came with the tablet, connect one end to the tablet before connecting the other end to the computer. And before connecting it, press and hold the escape button, and then whilst holding down the escape button, connect the USB to the cable on your computer. After this, keep holding down the escape button and press the USB reset button using a pin, as the reset button is inside a small hole, is located inside a small hole next to the camera on the back. Okay, so this is going to be a bit tricky. Let's show you what the back of the pipo's buttons are. This is the escape button here. This is the on-off button. This is the USB slot, and on the other side you'll see the camera lens, the flash unit, and just there is a little reset button. It's upside down, but that's what they're talking about. Okay, so let's just cancel that. So first thing we do is connect up the USB cable. There's the USB cable connected up. Now, it's a bit fiddly now, but I'll try to do this all in one go. Let's just minimize this so you can see the screen. I'm pressing the escape button and holding it down, and I've connected the USB cable to the computer and the tablet, and you can probably see that we have a pink light on one of the number 1 devices has gone pink, saying 7-6. Don't know what that means, but there it is. That's what it's saying. Okay, on my screen, the device is just showing the USB connector icon on the top left. Now the instructions do say, and whilst holding this escape button, press the reset key. After this, keep holding the escape button, press the reset button using a pin, as the reset button is located on inside a small hole. Okay, so let's do that. So I'm still holding the reset button. Let's turn the camera around a bit so you can see this. just be able to see that. The device is still switched on here. My fingers are probably... There you go, I pressed it, you heard a little click there. Now you'll notice two things. I'm going to take my hand off the escape button now because it's not going to work. The device is now switched off. It's gone off. Pressing the on-off button a little bit doesn't help. Okay, so that's switched off now. And two things have happened, hopefully. Or one thing has happened. On the screen, my connected devices vanished. So clearly, by switching it off, it disconnects from the laptop, which is not surprising. So let's switch the device back on again. Here it comes again. And this time I won't press the escape button, I'll just leave it as is. Don't forget, it's still connected up to the USB socket. Yeah, it's a bit loose now, but that's why my finger's on top of it. And you can see it's come back. It's now showing pink. Pink means it's got a connected device, but it hasn't yet. It's not ready to deal with it. I think it hasn't got the drivers yet for it. Now, some time ago, while I'm waiting for this pipo device to come up, I downloaded from the pipo website, which is a Chinese website, the more recent version of the firmware updating tool. Okay, so it thinks it's talking about USB mass storage now. You can probably see that now. There it is, reconnected. And I didn't have to press any escape button. And anyway, so I downloaded it, and when I tried this, the PC asked me to install some firmware, which it hasn't ever done before with this version of the software, with this 1.5, as you can see. But 1.7 it did ask me, so I did, and I found the software, ironically, from the Chinese version of the tool, and that seemed to allow me to do this. So instead of pressing the reset button, I'm going to click the switch button, which is on this software tool. So I'm pressing the switch button now. Notice that it's still connected on the pipo device, and this will be switched off any minute now. I'm not touching this, by the way. There it is, it's gone. And now if we look back at the screen, on the device manager, you might just be able to notice something else has appeared. I'll bring this a bit closer. Class for ROC USB devices has appeared over here. There. And if I double click it, remember the device is in theory switched off. and you can see it's saying, I hope you can see, it's saying class for ROC USB devices, manufacturer being Fuso ROC chip, so I'm pretty sure this is the right one. Dated 12th of March, the driver version. Okay. However, because the device is now switched off, so I've got the installed devices, but because it's switched off, my connected devices is no longer switched on, so it's not connected anymore. If I let's bring Device Manager back up. There's Device Manager again. There it is, showing my class for USB devices. It's this one here, by the way, if the writing's too small. I'll put it down a bit below, so you can just about make it out. And my pipo device is switched off. Still connected up with the USB cable. Let's see if we can restart it now with the on-off button. I'm pressing the on-off button now. I'm holding it down, and it should have started to power up by now, but it hasn't. Nothing at all. So I think it's going to need another reset button. So let's do that. We notice that it's vanished now. Bye! Here it comes again. It's reconnected, pink, but my device manager hasn't picked it up. Not in terms of a USB device, a ROC device. However, it has picked it up as a portable device, which hopefully you can see. In fact, that's even gone now. It's probably somewhere over here. So this is why I can't use the instructions, because, or rather, I'm finding I can't get it to work. Let's go back to the instructions, which say, soon your computer should pick up a device as connected. Well, we've got that. Let go of the buttons on the tablet and leave it connected. If the driver is installation message is prompted, then follow the instructions to install the drivers. If it asks you to locate the drivers, then direct the computer to that path. If it says if it does not appear or fails to install the drivers, which is most of the time, go to your device manager. There you will have an unknown device. Well, let's go to my device manager. Let's view all the devices. This is my pipo device here. Portable devices from pipo. Basically, it's saying it's a hard disk. A spare disk. And I can't see any unknown devices on here on my device manager, so I can't. The above should successfully install the drivers, upon which the number on box in the batch window will turn green, and all you need to do is click the upgrade button and wait until the process is finished. Well, clearly that hasn't happened, and there's no more instructions. So we've got it to turn pink, we can't get it to turn green, and it's mainly because I suspect I can't get the drivers properly installed and the machine switched on at the same time, so that it recognises it and has the drivers ready.